My greatest idol is Beyonce.
The first thing I saw, was her beauty and how beautiful she was.
I get very embarrassed. I feel humiliated. Every time I see it, the whole thing plays back in my head.
It seems like Rihanna isn't as keen on the Carters as many other black artists are. Actually, she's dropped some hints before that there might be some bad vibes between her and the power couple. Rumor has it they even tried to mess with her career. So, what exactly went down? When Rihanna started out, she was actually a huge fan of Beyoncé, just like millions of people back in the day.
Her beauty and how beautiful she was. And then I listened to her music and I loved her music. She's incredibly talented. I think she's what every female artist should strive to be or strive to be like.
Now, you know how gossip loves to swirl, especially when it comes to celebrity feuds? Well, one of the juiciest rumors in Hollywood has been about Beyoncé's supposed disdain for any other female artist stealing her spotlight. Yep, it's been whispered for years that Queen Bey can't handle it when another woman in the music industry starts getting more attention than her. Now, fast forward to the rise of Rihanna. As Riri's star began to ascend, Beyoncé allegedly started feeling a little, shall we say, uneasy? Some say it was jealousy, others say it was just plain old competition. But whatever the reason, tensions definitely started to simmer. Then came the song Bow Down. Queen Bey dropped this bombshell, and the lyrics seemed to be sending a clear message to all the other female artists out there, including Rihanna. Apparently, Rihanna responded to Bey telling the other artists to bow down by writing, "I only know how to be number one. I could use a challenge. How'd that feel down there on your knees, huh?" She also reposted an article that said that she was the queen of pop and captioned her post, "It's only March, people. Hash 2013 is already owned. Hash stay tuned." After those comments, the Beehive slammed Rihanna because they saw the post as a response to Bey. Then, shortly after, Beyoncé posted what appeared to be a subtle response to Rihanna's post. She posted a photo of her and her daughter, Blue Ivy, in matching chairs for her sold-out The Mrs. Carter Show. Speaking of Bow Down, can you believe that the song was actually written for Rihanna and not Beyoncé? Songwriting brothers Rock City, the same ones that wrote Rihanna's hit songs Man Down, We Can't Stop, and Replay, revealed in a podcast that they wrote the song in 9 minutes for Rihanna. And when she didn't take it, they passed it over to Beyoncé. Funny thing is that Beyoncé gave a very detailed account of how she came up with the song. She said, "The reason I put out Bow Down is because I woke up, I went into the studio, I had a chant in my head. It was aggressive, it was angry. It wasn't the Beyoncé that wakes up every morning. It was the Beyoncé that was angry. It was the Beyoncé that felt the need to defend herself. And if this song never comes out, okay, I said it, and I listened to it after I finished, and I said, this is hot. I'm gonna put it out. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna just put it out. People like it. Great. They don't. Basically, she lied. And that wouldn't be the first time they lied about writing a song. You all remember how she said she wrote Irreplaceable, and Nayo checked her. Oh, and All Night. That was another song that Rihanna rejected that got picked up by Beyoncé. Another reason why Beyoncé might have some beef with Rihanna is because despite Beyoncé being in the game longer, Rihanna has outsold her by a mile. Yep, Riri's one of the best-selling artists ever, clocking in at over 250 million records sold. Meanwhile, Beyoncé sold about 100 million records, which ain't too shabby, but it's not even close to Riri's numbers. And let's talk business. Beyoncé's got her thing going on, but she can't touch Rihanna when it comes to making bank. I mean, Rihanna's Fenty Beauty line blew up big time, raking in a whopping 570 million in just the first 15 months. That's right, Rihanna's now officially a billionaire thanks to Fenty Beauty, her clothing line, and even her lingerie line, leaving Beyoncé in the dust. And then there's Beyoncé's Ivy Park collab with Adidas. Yeah, it's been a bit of a flop, with sales tanking so hard that Adidas is pulling the plug. Ouch. Seems like Riri's winning the business game by a long shot. Apparently, even when it comes to popularity, as much as Beyoncé has more followers on social media, according to Google search, Rihanna is ultimately the more searched, more popular, and more widely known pop star of the two. Within the United States and South Africa, Beyoncé is more known, but Rihanna is more known everywhere else in the world. Is it possible that Beyoncé also can't stand Rihanna because even Riri's relationship is better, being that hers is less toxic? But even before that, it's always been said that Bey had a problem way back when her own husband Jay Z became fond of Rihanna in 2005 when Rihanna's song Pawn to Replay came out. It immediately attracted the attention of Jay Z, who had just become the CEO and president of Def Jam Records. And according to Rihanna, that was the best thing that happened to her at the time. Working with Jay and having a collaboration with him is just one of those things that everyone dreams to do in their musical career. And here I am at 19 years old with the #1 single and featuring Jay Z. It's just, I can't fathom it sometimes. It's overwhelming sometimes. Then trouble began when Jay Z allegedly started hitting on Riri and had an affair with her. Well, Rihanna's publicist also said that they came up with a rumor to push Rihanna's career by saying in an email, "The PR stunt that I did was out of desperation to help break Ponder Replay. It was reckless, and I didn't think it was going to work. I was just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what would stick." The publicist also said that they didn't think it would be that big of a story. But seeing Beyoncé suffer and knowing that people were profiting from speculations and opinions about her really turned his stomach. Really? I know that publicists have been paid before to say such things, but anyway, it's also been said that when Jay Z and Beyoncé realized that Riri was rising too fast, they literally tried to sabotage her career. Reportedly, Jay Z went behind Rihanna's back and leaked her album Anti prematurely to help prop up his wife Beyoncé's formation. Anti leaked on Tidal, the streaming service owned by the Carters, earlier than it was expected to, which led to Rihanna releasing it herself, offering up free download codes for fans to hear the album without paying for it. In any case, Bey and Riri's feud seems to have stemmed from what some might call a lover's spat. You see, back in 2009, Chris Brown pleaded guilty to assaulting Rihanna and claimed that she gave him herpes, and this story goes very deep and very far. According to Brown's $10 million pro se complaint, Rihanna was the one who gave him herpes, and when he threatened to sue her for not informing him about her condition, she allegedly attacked herself to make it look like he was the one who assaulted her. He claimed that the Umbrella singer then turned around and blamed him for it all, as a form of punishment. But that's not all. The lawsuit claimed that Rihanna even threatened to take matters to a new extreme if Brown sued her. The plaintiff stated that he was scared but could no longer take it anymore. He woke up one morning with 3 blisters on his wiener, making him concerned about his health and the risk of infecting others. The man claimed that he was planning to propose to Rihanna and even wrote the song Don't Wake Me Up for her, but then their relationship was ruined. He accused the Barbadian singer of sabotaging his relationships with other women by giving him a case of herpes from Barbados, which is most likely lethal. Brown's lawsuit also stated that Rihanna's lies and bias cost him millions of dollars in endorsements and job opportunities. Rihanna also allegedly gave herpes to another man, according to a model that once worked with her.
Everyone thought that I was the one my boss, and in all reality, it was this. And so it just literally got to the point where it came out that she got him sick.
But if Rihanna did give Chris Brown herpes, who gave it to her? Well, according to Jaguar Wright, it was none other than Jay Z allegedly cheated on Beyoncé with so many women that there's a good chance he ended up getting herpes and giving it to Rihanna. Chris Brown's allegations that Rihanna gave him herpes would also line up with around the time that Rihanna and Jay Z were allegedly romantically involved. Rihanna was just a 15-year-old singer trying to make it big in the music industry. Before she became the fierce businesswoman worth a whopping $600 million, according to Forbes, she was discovered by none other than record producer Evan Rogers while vacationing in Barbados. And boy, was he blown away by her supermodel neck, green eyes, capri pants, and matching sneakers. If that girl can sing, then holy he exclaimed. Fast forward to December 2004, and Riri's first single, Ponder Replay, was recorded and sent off to various record labels, including Def Jam. And guess whose hands it landed on? None other than the president of Def Jam himself, Jay Z. There are allegations that Jay Z may have wanted Rihanna during her early years in the music industry. Some sources claim that he was known for his playboy ways and for getting involved with younger women, and Rihanna was no exception. He allegedly took her under his wing and helped shape her career, but some speculate that he may have had other motives. Jay Z was so determined to sign the budding starlet that he reportedly aggressively said, "There's only 2 ways out the door if she signed the contract, or through this window if she didn't." Clearly, Rihanna had to close the door and signed with Def Jam that same night, starting her journey as one of the most iconic pop stars of our time. Under Jay Z's guidance, Rihanna went on to create hit after hit, including chart toppers like Umbrella, Run This Town, and Talk That Talk. The two even collaborated on a few of her biggest tracks, cementing their mentor-mentee relationship. But Rihanna didn't stop at just music. She followed in Jay-Z's footsteps by transitioning into the business world, launching successful ventures like Fenty Beauty, Fenty Skin, Savage X Fenty, and various fragrance and fashion lines. In a 2019 interview, Rihanna shared that her career is her purpose and that it should never feel like anything other than a happy place. We all know that the pair have had a long and close relationship over the years, with Jay serving as Rihanna's mentor and boss, as well as a collaborator on some of her biggest hits. But here's the question that everyone's dying to know. Has their relationship ever gone beyond the professional? According to celebrity biographer J. Randy Taraborelli, the answer is a resounding yes. In his tell-all book, Becoming Beyoncé: The Untold Story, Taraborelli claims that Jay and Rihanna were romantically involved back in 2005, while Jay was promoting Rihanna's debut single, Pon de Replay. The author alleges that Beyoncé was so uncomfortable with the situation that she and Jay even split up for a year. But hold on a minute, because Rihanna's former publicist, Jonathan Hay, has a very different story to tell. In a shocking confession, Hay revealed that he actually made up the rumor about Jay and Rihanna dating as a publicity stunt to help boost the rising star's profile. "I didn't think it would be this big story," Hay admitted to the New York Daily News. "I'm ashamed that I'm even talking about this. I just want to put this rumor to rest once and for all." In a candid interview with The Guardian, Rihanna revealed that rumors were the bane of her existence when she first signed with Def Jam. The worst part? The rumors that she and Queen Bey were beefing. At first it was funny, then it was frustrating, because it got really intense where people just weren't letting up, Rihanna lamented. In the years following the Rihanna drama, Jay Z and Beyoncé finally tied the knot in 2008 at the rapper's lavish Manhattan penthouse, according to People, and welcomed their firstborn daughter, Blue Ivy, 4 years later. In any case, Riri is not the only female artist who has experienced this shady side of Beyoncé. Another artist whose paths crossed with Bey is Amerie. Amerie struggled with getting her music out there. When she was working on her second album in 2004, she sought the help of producer Rich Harrison, who's known for working with both J-Lo and Beyoncé. He's previously helped Amerie in her first album, All I Have. The producer and his team finished the lead single for the second album, One Thing, in only 2 to 3 hours. Everyone felt good about the track that it was immediately sent to Amerie's label, Columbia. The record company didn't like it. They wanted bigger choruses. Amerie and Harrison quickly got back to work, trying to improve the song as asked. The label kept rejecting every version they turned in. The singer said that people just weren't getting it. At last, after 6 months of recording the final output, they decided to leak it to radio stations instead. But apparently, Columbia was trying to key off the single since J-Lo was about to record her own album, Rebirth. With radio stations refusing to pull out One Thing from their playlists, Amerie got the official release she deserved. The Let's Get Loud hitmaker ended up doing Get Right, another song produced by Harrison. Fans thought it was all suspicious. Some internet detectives began to trace the origins of Beyoncé's 2003 hit Crazy in Love to Amerie's One Thing and Why Don't We Fall in Love. In an interview with MTV in 2004, the former Destiny's Child member said that what made Crazy in Love a hit was the horn hook. She explained that it has this go-go feel to it, this old school feel. I wasn't sure if people were going to get it. But wait a minute, didn't Amerie talk about people not getting her sound, which coincidentally had that same go-go feel? It's a real head-scratcher. Anyway, the Beyhive rushed to defend their queen, arguing that Crazy in Love dropped before One Thing. But let's rewind a bit. Rich Harrison, Amerie's original producer, had Crazy in Love before he jumped ship to work with Beyoncé. So, who had it first? Well, just because a song hit the airwaves first doesn't mean it was conceived first. Amerie's sound might have allegedly been swiped long before Beyoncé dropped Crazy in Love. It's like a complicated game of musical chairs with careers on the line. Beyoncé's daddy, Matthew Knowles, was apparently pulling the strings. Rich spilled the beans, saying, "Yeah, I had it in the chamber. I hadn't really shopped it much. Because sometimes you don't want to come out of the bag before it's right. People don't really get it, and you'll leave them with a foul taste in their mouth. So it was just something that I held on to until I got the call from B." Translation: they were strategically holding back to make sure everything was just right. For those insisting Beyoncé chose the go-go sound before Amerie, our girl Amerie had been pushing for her go-go sound recognition way before Beyoncé's name entered the picture. She even talked about the struggle, saying, "You don't hear go-go outside of DC." Amerie and Rich created their own music genre, influenced by DC's go-go scene. Rumor has it that Amerie and Rich birthed this unique sound, and Beyoncé's crew caught wind of it, allegedly incorporating that style and casting a shadow over Amerie's career. Perhaps that's why Amerie decided to take a step back and choose a quieter life. Meanwhile, Beyoncé's first solo gig, Work It Out, had a completely different vibe and didn't perform well. Other artists who have been blackballed by Beyoncé are Halle and Chloe Bailey. Aside from their obvious talent, Chloe and Halle's meteoric success can partly be attributed to Beyoncé. Chloe first met the musician in 2003 when she played a younger version of Beyoncé's character in The Fighting Temptations. She and her sister Halle were later signed to Bay's Parkwood Entertainment Management Company and have been guided by the superstar ever since. So far, Chloe x Halle have been nominated for 4 Grammys and have individually gone on to acting success, but that's only half the story.
And apparently she had started watching all of our videos, and we got an email from her company, Parkwood, and they were like, hey, can we post this on all of her socials, and are you all signed?
You see, their journey, particularly Chloe's, hasn't been a smooth sail, and several fans believe that is Beyoncé's fault. Besides the television projects they've been working on, Chloe dropped a project early last year, and the turnout wasn't exactly what you'd expect from someone signed to Beyoncé. After Chloe Bailey's debut album, In Pieces, only sold 10,000 album units, fans took to social media to blame her mentor, Beyoncé, for not promoting her project online. Anyway, what most people really think happened is that Beyoncé didn't want Chloe to steal her shine, and in turn decided to dim her light by limiting the reach and sales of her album. However, it seems Queen Bey might be in the business of doing a lot more than just limiting people's bags, because once could be a coincidence, twice could be her hindering another's bag, but a third time, that's definitely diabolical. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Beyoncé's third straw. In the third installment of Beyoncé's sketchy history of making people suddenly fall off the grid, involved Azealia Banks, and boy does she know how to hold a grudge. In fact, she was still calling Beyoncé out as recently as a couple of months ago, even though their feud dates back years. Never one to hold back her feelings, the US rapper absolutely dragged the Crazy in Love hitmaker and compared her sellout world tour to, Cabaret? It seems this is the latest installment of Azealia drama, as she's become famous for sharing scathing opinions about Hollywood and the music industry, beefing with some of the biggest A-listers. Deciding to continue with Bey being her rival, she was asked on Instagram how the Renaissance tour was, after previously sharing her excitement to get tickets. Writing back in a lengthy rant, Banks began, I stayed home. I decided I didn't want to see Giselle and Blue Ivy's Cabaret. I wasn't leaving the comfort of my mansion to hear her sing Mary J. Blige covers and literally watch the same show I can watch on Instagram. She continued, in a big way, I kind of got over her that night. For a woman who's done so much nasty stuff behind the scenes to stifle other black female artists, yet still is too afraid to come at Adele for kaying on her little lemonade stunt and tearing a Grammy in half while she's in the front row pregnant. Literally, she begs people like Dixie Chicks, Shakira, and Adele for collabs, but doesn't pay the legion of black women who pen her songs. Azealia concluded. And I had a second thought about how tasteless it was for her to have the legendary Kevin G's Prodigy sweating her wig out and performing from the pit. No, Giselle, you thought you went hard. You need to go harder. It might seem like her frustration is only about Beyoncé's tour, but it actually goes back further than that. In 2022, Banks accused Beyoncé of trying to ignore her influence on house music, particularly in Harlem, New York. Beyoncé, at the time, had the music world talking after releasing her new single, Break My Soul, which saw Jay Z's wife tapping into house music. But this is only what the media said. Anyway, following this, in June 2022, Banks, who has been a purveyor of house music throughout her career, went on her Instagram story and went in. Banks's rant started in written form. She first shared a quote from an anonymous source in a Metro UK article that claimed Bey used Banks' music as well as others to brainstorm for upcoming records. She loves the fact that so many black writers and DJs are thriving in the dance scene over there, and was paying attention to songs by people like Mista Jam, David Asante, Mnek, Camille, and early Azealia Banks when brainstorming, The Insider told the publication. You're brainstorming with 6 people to my early records, Banks wrote, which are miles beyond whatever flaccid and insecure attempt you just made to try for an attention grab during Pride Month, when you don't give a damn about the gays any other time of the year. From there, the Icy Colors Change artist shared audio of her venting about what she sees as a move by Bey to make people forget about Banks.
Beyonce has been trying to write me out of my own narrative for years at this point. This is so weird. So early Azealia Banks records. Okay, so what are you trying to do? Are you trying to encapsulate my music in time?
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is effing creepy, Banks begins. Beyonce has been trying to write me out of my own narrative for like years at this point. Like, this is so effing weird. So, early Azealia Banks records. So, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to encapsulate my music in time and say like, you know, it's vintage or something, as if my last 3 releases have not whooped your A? Are you kidding? As if I'm not showing major versatility and all of that. You want me to not be Yamaya so effing badly. You want it to be Solange. You want it to be Chloe Bailey, Little Mermaid movie, and you don't include Azealia Banks. Like, oh my effing God, you're a joke. She continued, you're so sneaky. You're trying to erase my contributions to house music, dance music, electronic music, and all that, and make it as if I'm God knows who. Just encapsulate me in time. You're a effing creep. You're a effing creep, Beyonce, and you watch everything I do. In any case, the allegations against Beyonce, suggesting she's blacklisted and sought to ruin the careers of other Black female artists, further highlight her aversion to competition. But it's only a matter of time before she is overtaken by another female artist. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.